I have decided to move back home and in with my parents next month.
Hello, besties. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for clicking. Kindly subscribe to this beautiful channel. So, in today's video, we'll be talking about um adults moving back home with their parents because of the high cost of living. If you're feeling stuck or even embarrassed about this situation, I want you to know you are not alone. And there's nothing wrong with you doing what you need to do to survive in today's world. So let's talk about why this is happening, what it means, and how can we change the way we see it. So I've put the videos together so that you watch, and I'll be back to share my true sense.
Hey, how y'all doing? So, we're still moving out in 2024. Less than 2 months after I moved out of my parents' house, I have decided I'm going to be moving back in. Probably. The options are move out or move back into my parents' house for the summer because the rents keep rising, and then move out in the fall, like I originally planned, anyways. So, maybe I should have stuck to the original plan, but life happens. It is what it is. I will have a full story time once everything is settled. But yeah, that's why I've been gone for a month. Depression plus having to find someone to take over my lease. I haven't found someone yet. So if anyone in Charlotte needs a room, please. It's a nice building. I actually really like the building, but life just be lifing, so I have to move. And yeah, so more tips to come. See, told y'all don't want to learn the hard way. I always learn the hard way, but I learned my fucking lesson. That's for damn sure.
I am nearly 27 years old and today I am moving back in with my parents. This is not the plan I had for 27-year-old me, but that is just how bad the rental crisis is at the moment. I've been living on my own for the last 3 years. When I first started living on my own, I was paying $280 a week in rent. It was actually kind of fine to pay rent on my own, and I've never had like an outstanding salary. The reason why I'm moving back in with my parents is because my landlord wanted to increase my rent now to $450 a week. Now, I live in a small one-bedroom apartment in an old building. It's nothing flash. Sure, I live in a good suburb. I live in Malvern. I'm probably just paying for location, but I have to pay to do my laundry. There's cracks in the walls. Like, it's nothing flashy. Like, it's not worth $450 a week. That's like $2,000 a month. What are people supposed to do? I'm so lucky and I'm so grateful that I can move back in with my parents, but not everyone can do that. So what's your alternative? Like, you're homeless? The thing that really grinds my gears is that I am 99% sure that my landlord does not have a mortgage on this place, so that can't even be an excuse for landlords on here. She's owned this place since about 1980, and I know for a fact she has 2 investment properties. So she's just making money off what she can from the market. And I was like, there is no way I can afford this. And I have been an outstanding tenant, like outstanding. Rent's never been late. My inspections are always absolutely spotless. I've never caused any issues. And this is why my generation can't get ahead, why we can't buy houses. Like, I've been paying 20 grand a year in rent. But if I went to go get a house loan, they wouldn't see that as, oh, she can pay 20 grand a year. No, I have no savings because of how much I've been paying in rent and bills. That's why my parents were like, move home, save that money and try and get ahead. Like, I'm so grateful. I love my family and I don't have any issues moving back home with them. I do have an issue with the fact that they live over the other side of Geelong and I'm still going to be traveling to Melbourne for work. So that's going to be so much fun. But what do people do? I'm so lucky I have such a great family that I can move back in with. But what's the alternative? Homelessness? Like, the government really needs to get on top of this because honestly, the state of the rental market at the moment is absolutely fucked.
I have decided to move back home and in with my parents next month at the age of 26. And I want to talk about it for a second because I never in my life thought that I would do this. And I think there's a lot of judgment around like moving home, moving in with your parents, like things like that. And I speak from experience. Like, I used to be so judgy about people doing that. And I felt like this sort of superiority complex of like, I've never really leaned on my family or my parents or lived in my hometown since I was in high school. Um, and so I just want to talk about it for a second because maybe some people can relate. And I think something that's cool about growing up and maturing is realizing that you can and will change your mind, and it's okay to do that. And sometimes you just have to kind of listen to your instinct and where you're at that time in your life. So, just like backstory first, really quick, I currently live in Denver. I've lived here since 2019. I moved here like literally a week after I graduated college, and I'm originally from Kansas City. I spent my entire adult life literally running away from my hometown. I had no desire to ever be there, live there. I think I had a lot of trauma, just from things that happened when I was a kid and high school and like all that bullshit. I just like wanted nothing to do with my hometown. I wanted nothing to do with anybody that I knew prior to college, except for like a couple people who I remained close friends with, and my family. Other than that, I was like literally the thought of even being in my hometown repulsed me. Um, and, but that being said, I always knew that Denver was not going to be a forever place for me. Like I said, I moved here like right after I graduated college, and it's been a wonderful place. I've grown so much as a person. I literally like I wouldn't even recognize myself now. Like the girl who moved here is completely different. I've grown so much. I've met so many people that I never would have met had I stayed in my home.
So that's the video, guys. So I'm just here to share my 2 cents, like what I think about today's video. Why are adults now moving back home? Okay, so I've got my own reasons why I think so. Okay, so let's get into it, guys. So first thing first is the struggles of independent living. Okay, so let's address the obvious. Living independently is harder than rent, groceries, utilities, transportation. Everything is expensive for a lot of people. It feels like no matter how hard they work, they are barely keeping their heads above water. Saving for emergencies or the future, forget about it. This is why so many adults are realizing that moving back home might be their own options. So there's also breaking the stigma. Okay, there is a lot of shame attached to moving back home. Society makes it seem like being independent is the ultimate maker of success, but that's not the reality for everyone. Moving back doesn't mean you are afraid, it means you're being practical. You're choosing stability, taking a step back to move forward. Later, we need to stop looking at this as a setback and start seeing it as a strategy. There is also how living at home can be a smart move. Living at home can actually be an opportunity for you to approach it the right way. It gives you the chance to save money, pay off debt, or even work toward a bigger goal like starting a business or going back to school. You're not just sitting around, you're building a stronger foundation for your future. And let's be honest, being close to the family can also be a blessing, especially if you have a good relationship with them. Okay, so another thing that I want to talk about is the challenges of moving back. Of course, moving back home is not all sunshine and rainbows. Sharing a space with family again can be challenging, especially if you have gotten used to living on your own. There is might be disagreements over boundaries, chores, or personal space. The key is communication. Sit down with your family and set expectations. That way, everyone knows what to expect and you can avoid unnecessary conflicts. Okay, so if you're an adult and you're moving back home or thinking about it, remember it's okay. The world is different now, and adapting to that doesn't make you weak, it makes you are smart. Take this time to regroup, make a plan, and remind yourself that this is just a chapter in your journey, not the whole story. And if you're someone whose friend or family member has moved back, offer them support instead of judgment. We are all doing the best we can, and a little kindness goes a long way. Okay, so if you know your friend has gone to move back home, kindly support them. Okay, keep encouraging them that this is not the end of the book. Okay, the story is just starting, and the finishing it to be the most sweetest part of the story. The story is not even at the climax. Okay, so most of the people, they've said that they're moving back home because they're failing to pay um rent, it's very expensive to pay to buy food, the utilities, there's also taxing. Everything is very expensive for people, and the best decision they make for them to save money and do other things is moving back to their families. And I know moving back home can be very bad if you have toxic family members, okay? So make sure if you are moving back home, you need to make peace and boundaries with people in your home, okay? So that you have a good time there. I know it might be tough because no one is perfect, but you should know how to solve your issues, and so that you just live good with everyone. So, yeah, instead of you struggling to pay rent, it's better you go home. Some of the people they share to pay rent, if you have a house and your family is just around, maybe everyone just paying for power, pay for other things like garbage and everything. So you're just putting the bills together, and you remain with at least a lot of money from your salary. Okay, so instead of you living paycheck to paycheck, at least you're going to have something for you to start building something for the future. So it's very good and it's very practical, but it's a very smart move if you can manage it. I know some people that are not in this space where they can move back home, but I'm sending hugs to you. One day when you make the right decision for yourself, you can do it. Okay, yeah, so this is a video, guys. I don't know what you think. Have you ever moved back home because of financial strain? How was it? How was the experience? And how did you overcome it and move out back and become more stronger like never before? Okay, so I want you to leave the comments so that you might advise someone in the comment section if they're going through this and they feel like they are alone. Thank you for watching, guys. See you in the next episode. Bye bye.